Most of us, eventually get that far. And now, it's your car, right? What does the bank send you? They send you a certificate of title. If I give you a gift certificate, do you have the gift or do you have a piece of paper that represents that gift? You just have the piece of paper. You have to go someplace and turn in the gift certificate in order to get your gift. Well, if I give you a certificate of title, do you have the title or a piece of paper that represents that title? You have a piece of paper. You are co-owner of that car. Who else is the owner? The state. Now, let's pretend you and I are friends. We go out Saturday and we buy a car together. You put down $10,000, I put down $10,000, we buy this car. And well, you go ahead and drive it first. You take the keys. So now you take the keys, you drive it, put gas in it, change the oil, and you've got it all year. I never got a chance to drive the car. Don't you think you should pay me money for my half of the car? Don't you think you should pay rent for driving around my two wheels? Yeah. So does the state. The state is co-owner of your car. They're going to let you drive it. They're going to let you put the oil in it and leave the trunk cluttered with all of your stuff. But they are co-owner and they want rent. It's called registration. That's why you have to pay a registration fee every year, because you are paying the state, rent on their part of the ownership of your car. Now, if you go into a car dealer with $20,000 in cash and say, I will buy that car and I want the manufacturer's statement of origin, I have no idea what their reaction is going to be. They're probably going to stutter a lot. But I know people who have actually gotten the manufacturer's statement of origin. It is now their car. They own it in a allodial title, 100%. They do not register it. They do not pay taxes on it. Nothing. It's theirs. Somebody have a question?
The only way you'll get that in the state of Texas is you'll have to sign a statement stating that you first of all have to have an out-of-state address or out-of-country address, and you have to sign a statement stating that you're exporting the car out of the state. Otherwise, a dealer, I don't care how much cash you give him, he's required by his law of being a dealer, actually his agreement for being a dealer in the state of Texas is another whole issue, not to give you that. So the easiest way to do it is if you live in Texas, is go to Arkansas or go somewhere else and buy it like Jim Farmer did. He has the certificate on his car.
Then bring it back to Texas?
Bring it back to Texas and you don't have to put nothing on it.
So when we talk about property, most of us don't really understand ownership. Possession is one thing, but possession is only 9/10 of the law. You need ownership in order to have complete control.
Can you just send off to the state with a certificate and say, I want mine?
I don't think that will work. I've tried to do that with California, and I'm still struggling with that issue. I don't know anybody personally who has managed to do that after the fact. Everybody that I know who has done it has gone and purchased the car brand new off the lot.
I tried that. I sent a registered letter to the state stating that they had obtained the car I bought. I'm the second owner, and I sent them an affidavit declaring pretty much what you said, and stated that they had obtained ownership, had obtained the manufacturer's statement of origin through a constructive fraud, and I demanded that they send me the complete file that they have on that automobile, and that if they did not assert a claim within 30 days, that they would no longer have a claim on it. And what they did was they sent me a letter back saying that they did not care to accept my invitation to a debate. was what they said. But basically, they gave up, as far as I'm concerned, they gave up their claim to it when they refused to assert one. But they did not send me not even copies of their documents.
Right. And that's one of the ways that you've got to handle it. You have to understand the law well enough to be able to assert it and to win it. And they may not have sent you the paperwork, but I don't think that they're going to come back and try to repossess the car or anything. I'd be really surprised if they did. Okay. This, again, is the most important concept of the entire class. Property, rights, and privileges. If you don't genuinely get it, please ask questions, because everything else that we talk about is based on this fundamental principle.
Would you have a defense for not having a license plate if you got the
The manufacturer's statement of origin?
Yes, and then you went down and tried to register it, but you wouldn't give it to the state, and therefore they wouldn't give you a license?
Why would you register it?
Well, to try to comply with their laws, I guess.
Why would you try to comply with their laws?
Well, so that I would have an excuse or a reason for...
Why do you need an excuse?
Well, wait just a minute. If a policeman stops me and tries to give me a ticket, then I can say, I did try to register it. I did try to get license plate. That's my defense.
A better defense is that you don't need a driver's license. You don't need a license.
They don't understand that.
If you have the manufacturer's statement of origin, that's all you need. Now, the fact that the police officer is uneducated and doesn't understand that, that's just kind of the way life is. And your life will be a whole lot easier if you get the driver's license and you get the license plate. That if you want easy, go along with the flow. If you want freedom, you're going to have to buck the system. Freedom is not free. It's not easy. And as we're learning, freedom isn't for everybody. And I understand if you don't want to spend the time and the hassle and you don't want to be arguing with police officers on the side of the road, have a driver's license, get your license plate, keep everything up to date. Not everybody, is prepared or ready to go through that kind of hassle. Because it is. The government is going to make your life as miserable as they possibly can. Because you are not following the system, and that's what they want. They want you to follow the system. Because that way they can control you and put you where they want you. That's not freedom.
Freedom is not free.
Freedom is not free. It is a lot of work.
Number plates will drive on this day, even numbers will drive on that day. When does that infringe upon?
One last thing about rights. The only limitation on your rights is the equal rights of others. You can do anything you want as long as you do not violate someone else's rights. And again, this is a real clear distinction. Property is mine or yours. If it's my property, I can do anything I want. If it's your property, I better ask. So as long as I don't destroy your property, then I'm fine and I can do anything I want. That's the fundamental ideal here in the United States. Now, I'm on page 5. John Dickinson said, "Kings or parliaments could not give you the rights essential to happiness. We claim them from a higher source, from the King of Kings, the Lord of all earth. They are not annexed to us by parchments and seals. They are created in us by decrees of providence." So the Constitution is wonderful, but it doesn't give you anything. Now, in I believe this is a Supreme Court case called Hale versus Henkel, the Supreme Court said that the individual may stand upon his constitutional rights as a citizen. He is entitled to carry on his own business in his own way. His power to contract is unlimited. This is good news and bad news. That means that you can sign a contract to do anything you want. That's good news.